So here's a 2011 Cadillac CTS-V Coupe. It's been a while since we've had one of these, but we've had probably close to 150 of these over the years. This one here is actually a theft recovery. We got the car, the engine and transmission were out of the car, so we got the shell. This is the original engine to the car. We verified the VINs, they do match. But this is a theft recovery. The car was stolen. They had just removed the engine when the police arrested them, basically, so we got the engine separate from the car. Car itself's got about 69,000 miles on it. However, the tires themselves only look like they have about 1,000 or 2,000 miles on them. All four tires are like brand new condition. They're the polished 19-inch staggered wheels, obviously being the coupe wheels. Now, what I can tell you about the car, the engine, transmission, all of that works just fine. There's no issues there whatsoever. It's installed correctly and fine. Running-wise, mechanically, that's fine. However, as you can see, all the radiator coolers have been removed. There is a cooling pack on eBay right now that gives you the cooling fans, the radiator, and everything for $1,000. But I did price it out. If you look on eBay, you can buy all the individual pieces separately and actually save about $300. So I would personally do that. It needs a front bumper cover. As you can see, it's damaged here along the bottom edge. I have not found a black one, so you'll probably have to find one in a different color and paint it, or just buy a new one. The grills are relatively cheap. I've found the grills on eBay. They're about $250, $300 for the pair. Now, that stuff's, pretty obvious. Of course, it needs a hood too. Surprisingly, I actually just threw one away a couple of months ago, so unfortunately I can't give you a hood. The unfortunate part of this car, probably the most frustrating part of it, is when they removed the engine, you can see they disconnected the lower radiator hose. We don't have an upper radiator hose, so that's part of the cooling problem. But down here, the heater core lines, you can see they cut them there. Now you could probably just, since they're cut so close, you could probably just take the clamps off, take the hoses off, and then just shove them on. So there you're probably fine. However, they cut the AC lines here and here. So you need the AC lines that go back to the firewall. Luckily, they disconnect right back here at the firewall, so you don't need to go into the engine compartment. So that's been damaged. The other thing is the power steering lines were also cut. They're up here underneath the rack. You could splice those if you want, or just get new power steering lines that come up here to the engine. So that's done. And then also the fuel line was also cut here as well. We put a hose on here to splice it just so the car runs and drives good enough for now. A lot drives, makes it easier for loading, moving it around, and so forth. I'd probably put some good fuel line on there, or splice it, or replace the line, whatever you're going to do. That's probably the most frustrating parts to the car. Outside the car, like I say, all four rims and tires are in great condition. They're the polished 19-inch tires, are like brand new. This side of the car looks pretty good. Little nick right here. A couple little paint chips there. The other frustrating part, or I guess going into the interior here, whoever it was, they actually removed the faceplate and the radio out of the vehicle. We reinstalled the radio. It does say that the radio is locked up here, so that's going to have to get cleared out. But they damaged the dash pulling this out. But there is a dash assembly on eBay. I've seen that for about $200-300 bucks. So that'll fix all of those problems there. Looks to be no damage up there on the roof. Does have a moon roof. Do have a trailer hitch on here. Never actually seen a trailer hitch on a CTS-V before, but that is there. Going down this side of the car, there is a few little scratches here. Little dings and whatnot. Here there's another little scratch. This one might buff. Some of it might buff out. But it's got 69,000 miles on it. I would say the body is about equivalent to that of a 69,000 mile vehicle. Now, a lot of the wire harness down here, this actually runs across the front of the engine cradle here, goes over to the other side. That gets your ABS, and then of course your cooling is all in here as well. So because that's disconnected for the cooling and then the ABS on this side, we do have some ABS lights on in the vehicle. Also, we're missing the end panel here. This just clicks on, but we're missing that piece there. And then the window switches have been pushed through, so you might need to get a new window switch. They're only 20, 30 bucks on eBay, but still needs that. And then they cut the seat belt. It's not that the seat belt deployed, they cut the seat belt out simply because they needed something to remove the engine with. So when we got the vehicle, that seat belt was actually wrapped around the engine basically, and they used that on a hoist or forklift or whatever to pull the engine out. So it didn't deploy anything. We haven't done anything in the interior other than clean it up a little bit. Now this seat belt over here is not locked or anything like that. The rest of the interior looks pretty good and clean for the most part, I guess. There's a couple little marks on stuff here and there. The windshield looks like they wanted to pull the mirror off, so you will need a windshield as well. That's cracked here and that's out, and the mirror's off. So that's about all I can tell you about the car. I suppose I can do a start for you. Don't want to rev it or drive it too much here, but you can see that's fine. It idles fine. There's currently 69,009 miles on the car. And that's going to be it for our video. Like I say, the car runs and drives just fine. You know, in other words, you can't drive it far with the cooling. I guess the shifter here is also a little ripped. So that's going to conclude our video. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot us an email. Thank you very much and have a good day.